What's going on, everybody? This is Boyd, your senior Salesforce developer. And today, what I have for you is an exercise on writing queries, and we're going to do that in the dev console. And so if you remember back from the first tutorial, we created a trigger that is invoked by this cheese field here. And we created one record. It's called Happy Meal on the hamburger object. I'm just going to go ahead and change that to Big Mac, just because there's an actual hamburger named Big Mac, and it'll make more sense a little bit further into the tutorial. But I wanted to do that. Another thing that I did was I created another object called French fry, and I have the tab there. And the way that I did that is I clicked Setup. I clicked the gear icon. I clicked on Setup. That will open a new window for you, and you'll see the object manager here. I've already created my object, but you would go to New Object and create this French fry object here. And I only created one field on this French fry object, and that field I named it hamburger, and it looks up to the hamburger object. So French fries is a child record of hamburger. And then for the name field, what you're required to have on there, it's a standard field. I just chose auto number. And what that means is when I create the first French fry record, the name of it is going to be 1. When I create the next one, the name of it's going to be 2. When I create the next one, the name of it's going to be 3, and so forth. And after I did that, in the interest of time, I created 10 French fry records related to this Big Mac hamburger record. And so if I go back to the Big Mac hamburger record, after you create your French fry object, you want to create 10 French fry records, and then you should be able to see them in the related list here, related to the Big Mac hamburger. If you change the name, you can see 1 through 10 are the records that I created. Okay, and then after you do that, then the next thing you want to do is go back to this gear icon, click Setup again. That'll open up a new tab for you. I already have it open. And then after you open that new tab, you'll have the quick find box over here, and you want to type quick find, you want to type Schema Builder in that quick find box. And once you see Schema Builder, select it, and this is where it'll land you in the actual Schema Builder. And you'll probably have a list of objects here that are all selected, and your screen over here, your diagram may look messy. Just click Clear All, and then in this find box right here, type in hamburger and select it, and this box will pop up. And then clear this out again and type in French fry. This box will pop up, and you'll have a line connecting them to represent that connection, that lookup relationship that we formed between hamburger and French fry. And this delta on the end of this line here means that one hamburger can have many French fries, but we don't see that delta on this end, so one French fry can't have many hamburgers. There are other ways to accomplish that relationship, but we're keeping it simple for the sake of this tutorial. And you have a little legend over here that also further tells you that lookup relationships are blue, master detail relationships are this burgundy color. And even if I hover over this line, it says lookup relationship is from French fry to hamburger. Okay, I think y'all got that. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Dev Console and practice some queries. And to get the Dev Console, again, you click this little gear icon and you click Developer Console. It'll launch in a new window. I already have it open in position so that it fits well into my recording window. Now, I want to make sure that you're able to see these selections up here, and that's why I have it open already. And so the first thing that we're going to do here in Developer Console is we're going to click on File, and we're going to click on Open Resource. And once we do that, we want to type in hamburger. And we're looking for hamburger _C dot OBJ. That means for the object that is the hamburger object. And when I click that, it opens up all the fields that are on the hamburger object. You can see that cheese field there. You can see the name here. You can see the ID. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on ID. I'm going to hold down Control and click on Name. And when I click Query, let me click Query again, it puts the query down here. So I want to select ID and name from the hamburger object. And when I execute that, I get the ID of that Big Mac record, and I get the name of that one Big Mac record. If there were 5 hamburger records, they'd all appear here because I didn't put any restrictions on this query. I just say, hey, give me all hamburger records. Well, there's only one. And so if I close that out, I could go back here and click Open Resource again, or I could click Control-Shift-O to open that same window. I clear that out, and I'll type in French fry. Now I'm looking for the French fry object. I'll select it and open it. And now you can see all the fields on the French fry object. So if I select name and I hold down Control and select hamburger, you can see that hamburger's that lookup relationship. They call it a reference here. But if I click query, it puts the query down here. Give me ID, give me name, give me the hamburger that the French fry looks up to. And I click execute. It gives me all 10 of those French fry records. I'll click here to sort them, 1 through 10. And we can see they're all related to the same hamburger. And in this instance, it gives me the ID of each individual French fry record. Okay, so using the same query here, I'll go ahead and get rid of ID just because I don't feel like we need it. But using the same query here, we see that hamburger _C gives us a reference to the parent object for each French fry. But what if I want to get to a field on the hamburger object, like the name? So since I want a related field on the hamburger object, not just the ID, hamburger _C gives me the ID. But what if I want a field on that related parent object? I would get rid of that C, because I want a related field on that hamburger object. And which field do I want? I want name. So if I change that _C to a _R dot name in this instance, and I click execute, you see it now gives me the name on that hamburger object. And over here, we still have the name of each French fry, French fries 1 through 10. They're all related to the same Big Mac record. I like when people call me Big Mac. Anybody else like that? Anyway. Okay, so now we know how to look up in a query from the child to the parent, in this case from the French fry to the hamburger. But what if we want to look down? What if we want to subquery from the hamburger down to the French fries? In that case, we change this query around. So if we just do our regular basic query here, let's just say we get rid of that other field there, and we click hamburger. So select name from hamburger _C. Execute. We get 1 hamburger. Let me close these other tabs here really quick. Okay, we have our hamburger. Okay, and so if we want to also get the children, the French fry records, we go select name from French fries _R. Let's see if this works. Voila. We get all the French fries related to this one hamburger. It gives us to them here in kind of like a JSON format here, just on one line. If you were to run this and if you execute this query in Workbench, it would look a lot better because it would print them vertically here, and it still would show that they're related to this one Big Mac hamburger. Okay, and so now that we know how to query the French fries or the child records that are related to the parent, which is a hamburger, what we want to do now is we're going to go into the anonymous block. The way you get there is you click on debug up here at the top left, and you can open anonymous block, or you can choose Control E, and it'll open this window here. So as I just said, I have this copied over here in Notepad. We're going to create a parent to child query. Well, we've already done that down here. So let me copy that, and let's create a list of type hamburger to hold hamburger. So type hamburger, and I'll call those burgers. And since we're doing it, since we're writing the query in anonymous block, we have to use the square brackets on the end of it. And then I'll paste. And let me spread this out so you can see a little bit better. Boom, there's our query. So give me a list of hamburgers, put them in this variable, and also give me a subquery of the French fries related to that hamburger. Nothing's going to print out because I haven't told it to print to the log anywhere, but I can just click execute to see if there are any errors. Okay, so far, no errors. Let me regain that space right there, bump down twice. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to, boom, let's create a nested for loop that helps me get to each one of these French fries. And then at that point, I'm just going to print them to the debug log, but for the sake of your work requirements, you now have access to those child records and you can manipulate them any way you decide. A nested for loop at a basic level looks like this. And so for each hamburger, this for loop is going to have type hamburger, and I'll use a variable called this burger, and the burgers are all stored in this list here. So I want to iterate over this list. And so for each hamburger in this list, I want to go through the French fries, the 10 French fries that are related to it. And so those will be type French fry _C. And as a variable, I use this fry. And then, since we're looking at this hamburger here, I'm going to put that there, dot. And then I want to grab the reference to each of those French fries. And this is a list. So for this hamburger, I want to see the French fries related to that hamburger. For the next hamburger, I want to see the French fries related to that hamburger. And once I grab them, or once I get to each one of those French fries, I'm just going to print them out to the debug log, and I'll say this burger. And I'll say, I'll grab this burger, boom, and on that burger, I want to choose the field name. Okay, so what about that burger has a French fry named what? This French fry here. And on that French fry record, give me the name of it. Put a little space there. Let's execute, see if I have any errors. Okay, no errors. So if I go over here to my log and I double click the first one, it should be that one there, because I see another log there, but I believe this is it. And I click debug only just to see what I printed. You can see that I was able to get to each one of those French fry records. I don't know what I spelled there. Big Mac as a French fry. So this burger, Big Mac, has I just didn't put the space there in the string, a French fry named 1, named 2, named 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10. And so we're getting a little bit long in the tooth on the time. I just want to thank you for watching. This is Boy, your senior Salesforce developer. Hope I've been some kind of help. If you need to get in contact with me, use comments, use the DM, use some kind of way to get in touch with me. I will talk to you guys in about a week with the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.